among one of the most disturbing topics that is dividing America today. All too common headlines about police violence. Shot Fired is a new series that takes it on from all sides in a surprising way that may change your perspective a bit. So please welcome two of the fabulous stars, Sanaa Lathan, what's happening, and Mack. So Sanaa, first tell us about the show, and then tell us about yet another kick-ass woman you're playing.
Yeah.
She only plays women who will beat you into a pulp. But tell us a little bit about the show.
I play Ash Aquino. I'm an investigator with the Department of Justice. I call her Bad Ash, hashtag Bad Ash.
Oh, I like it.
She's been in law enforcement for many, many years. She really is amazing at her job, and she's relentless in the pursuit of justice, and she'll do whatever it takes to get that justice, even if it's illegal sometimes. Yeah.
Well,
she's called to investigate the murder of a white kid by a black cop played by Mack, and I go down there with my partner, and we investigate this murder, and in the course of investigating the murder, we discover another murder that has happened that is not being investigated of a black teenager. And so the series the movie, it's a 10-hour movie, it tracks these two different murders, one white, one black, and how the community treats them differently, the press treats them differently, as well as the criminal justice
Where'd
system.
you get that idea from?
Exactly.
Life imitating art, imitating life.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, Mack, fans love you from the new 90210, The Wire, The Breaks. But now, as Sanaa mentioned, you're playing Deputy Beck, a young black police officer who shoots and kills a young white man. What was it like for you to take on this role?
It was a lot. You know, I grew up right here in New York City, Staten Island, New York, to be exact. But you know, in our community in Stapleton, we have as I'm sure other communities do, they have a certain relationship with police officers. It's automatically defensive. Whereas now, after doing the rigorous training and meeting with the police officers and understanding their point of view, and seeing how just as scared as we are walking into those situations, they're just as nervous.
Yeah.
So it's an automatic powder keg. It was crazy. It took a lot and a lot of training and a lot of hard work from a lot of officers like I don't want to shout people out. Dennis Rodriguez, Sean Dozier, a bunch of other officers that helped us out around the clock.
Wow. And, you know, at this table, we talk a lot about the conversation that parents have to have with their sons, with their black sons. Did you experience that the talk?
Yeah, I think in a sense, we're in a place now in our generation where not only black boys have to have this talk, black women have to have this talk too. They're just as susceptible to anything happening as much as we are. So absolutely had to talk with my mom and my dad. You know, you're going out into this neighborhood, which even, you know, Stapleton isn't necessarily the best community. So you already know how police look at us coming from a community like that. So
it's projects, right? Because you and I have that in common.
Yes, ma'am. Grew up, born and raised in the project.
And you too. All of us. Right? I always forget that. We got the projects in common here.
It's real. It's
The
real.
creator, Gina Prince Bythewood, is married to Reggie Rock Bythewood. They're both the creators, and the idea came about 5 years ago when the Zimmerman trial with, you know, Trayvon Martin Zimmerman trial was on television, and Reggie was watching it with his 12-year-old son. And he, when Zimmerman got off, his son was in tears. He didn't understand. You know, why? And so he basically, that was the seed. That was the seed of this whole idea, and he had to kind of explain to his son through a documentary about Emmett Till about the history of this country and, you know, where we are with that. And so that's, you know, this started, even though it feels like it's being ripped from the headlines, the idea of this started.
Conversation began.
Yes.
Because you can't not, you know, I mean, and the other interesting thing is suddenly it's not just one group. You have to now look and see young police officers coming in. They don't know. They don't have the training. They're just sort of thrown out there.
Or and so the training that they get is not great.
As it should be. It's not that great. So you guys are actually focusing on the what I think is the proper conversation.
Yes.
Because if we don't realize we're all in this together.
Right. So true.
It's always going to be this. And I love that this is what you're doing. I know I took your question.
No.
Well, this is the great thing about this movie is because it's so great that it's 10 hours. First of all, I just want to say it is entertainment and it is fun to watch.
Yes.
It is.
It's great.
And yes, and so it's a mystery thriller where you will be like putting the pieces together,
Right.
and yet then you get hit with these heavy truths. But one of the things that the writers did that was so brilliant is that you get a seat from every position at the table. So hopefully that will create some empathy and some compassion, because you're going to put yourself in shoes of where you may have never thought that you would have been.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really fantastic. We actually have a clip. Let's take a look at it.
My second day on the streets, I'm out with my T.O., white dude. Routine traffic stop. Only the kid in the passenger seat takes off running, so I give chase. Catch him pretty quick, but he starts fighting me. My T.O. just stands there watching, wants to see if a girl can handle herself. I get the upper hand, when suddenly the kid is reaching for something behind him. My T.O. is frozen, yells gun. I draw, and I shoot this kid in the chest. Only there's no gun, just a cell phone. 18 years old. But I told the truth. At least I had that.
So good.
Well, Mack was just bringing up one thing, how he had said he saw a whole different point of view in training for this part. He said the cool part about this is all sides of this are represented in a way that is unifying, because too often when we watch it in the news, when you said it's entertaining, like the news, you want to turn off.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Being entertained enough to turn something like this on might start conversations people aren't having.
Yes.
It's a great thing. I mean, and I'm so thrilled that y'all are doing it. And I want to also say my friend Richard Dreyfuss is also
I love
with these guys. And so, you know, thank you guys for coming. You've been with us before. This is your first time.
My very first time. It won't be the last.
Well, okay. I like that. Thanks for coming, and come back anytime. You know, Shots Fired premieres Wednesday night. Please make sure you watch this, and watch it with your family if you can. Check your local listings. We will be, of course, right back.